doesn't want a skinny waist? If all you had to do was wear a garment that maybe constricted your breathing, maybe didn't let you eat as much, maybe didn't let you move as much, if all you had to do was wear that garment, would you? These corsets that reshape the body, aesthetic corsets, have been worn for centuries. However, because of this being its only purpose, they aren't designed with your health in mind. They're designed for aesthetic purposes. It's just like whenever you wear makeup that might have lead in it, yes, it looks nice, but what is it doing to your body? So these corsets might have hidden risks that are unbeknownst to you, and they might make you think twice about waist training. Historically, women wanted an hourglass figure. They achieved this by tight lacing. Their corsets were extremely constrictive. However, social norms often led to nobody questioning these decisions to wear these shaping aids. But that doesn't mean that the medical community didn't notice, even back then. An article by Lucy Johnston, published by the Victoria and Albert Museum, states that the early 20th century body ideal had an exaggerated silhouette, one with an extremely tiny waist, a spilling bust, one very, very cartoonish and unnatural. This body silhouette could only be achieved by wearing a corset. The same article states that the newspapers were selling artifice and aids that would make you lose weight, aids that would make your breasts bigger, anything you could think of to degrade the human form and make people think that the human form is imperfect and needs to be adjusted. A 2002 American Journal of Public Health article by Fee, Brown, and Lazarus described an even earlier 18th and 19th century report by Samuel Thomas von Sumerling. These reports describe health problems and bone deformities among upper-class fashionable women through the 18th and 19th centuries. This silhouette, even in the 18th and 19th centuries, which would have been the 1700s to the 1800s, was actually much less severe than the 20th century. And they still saw deformities occurring in people who wore these corsets every day. There are pictures that you can Google that show these torsos of these women who, their ribs, they're supposed to be out here, they're pushed in here, and that requires their organs to be scooped or moved around as well. So you can imagine the pain that these people would have went through. This might seem like old news. However, recent body ideals and corseting ideals even are shockingly similar. Wide hips, a large chest, and are once more the body ideal. And plus, with those two things, you must have a small, tiny waist. You can't go on a social media website without seeing all these gorgeous models and celebrities scantily clad with these unattainable bodies. With this new ideal, corsetry makes a debut, well, let's say a resurgence, in the form of waist training. While less extreme than tight lacing, it alters the shape of the body for purely aesthetic purposes and can equally cause health problems, which we'll get to later. An 2016 article by Izzy Kaplan and NetDoctor states that social media's influencers, such as the Kardashians, regularly promote these waist training aids to their young fans. They're young female fans that look at these things and think, that's what I need to look like, that's what I need to be. With these concerns, and with this promotion, comes equal medical concern. The same 2016 article by Izzy Kaplan and NetDoctor states that waist trainers can cause abdominal pain inside and outside. The only good thing about this appears to be that these less intense waist trainers are not likely to deform your bones unlike the 20th century ones. But if you wear them too tight, you can also move around your organs, and anything like that. Because that's what a corset is designed to do. It's designed to suck everything in, and to do that, what is already in place has to be moved out of place. Caplan also states that waist training creates an unhealthy mental cycle of comparisons, because your body in a waist trainer is not your body. And the problem isn't usually that you want your body just to look different, you want it to be different. A 2014 women's article by Esther Crane quotes Dr. Mary Jane Minkin, who states that unless they are altering the physiology, again, moving around your organs, reshaping your bones, waist trainers aren't going to permanently suck everything in. But perhaps that is a good thing. Although, with the ideals of today, that is not the answer that people want to hear. With all the information presented, it is apparent that corsets are not simply an aesthetic fad. They are a device that should be taken with medical severity. Even though these might not be as bad as their 20th century counterparts, it is important to be careful and do your medical research whenever you decide to try something new that involves your body. Thank you.